So one of the things I would do, I would make a statement about something, and then I will give 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different examples of what that means, of the behavior you look for in that, or how you look at it. And I'll do it from different directions. I'll do it um, 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 culturally from the standpoint of an individual or a family, or from a region, or from a country, or from the world, or from the general pool of spirituality. So in order to really get this, we have to pay very close attention, and we have to follow. And when you find your mind wandering, just bring it back. You know, if you're getting these tapes and things, you can do that. You can back it up, start it over. The other thing, check and understand, what I do here. Okay. What is it I'm trying to do? Okay. Versus why you came. All right. We're just trying to get some things ordered. Just want you to think about some things. I, in a way, teach. I realize that what I'm talking about is a little far removed from what our ordinary everyday life is about and is like. So I realize that we have to get past that. So what I try to do is position people so that they can see something different, see it a different way. And I say I try and position you so that you can see it a different way, because the limitation, this is why I hesitated in using the word teach, because teaching implies learning. As one who gives that information, I can't guarantee that. It is the responsibility of the person who is hearing it to provide learning. So what I try to do is position your head or your eyes or your mind to see something a different way. The purpose of this is peace of mind. The purpose of this is understanding. I'll go back to when this first happened to me. As I went through this process, and as a matter of fact, this process happened to me in a matter of hours. Okay? And as I went through this process, at first it was psychological. When I say it was psychological, what's wrong with my brain? Why am I wired this way? Well, I got the answers. At one moment there, I thought, boy, you're really healthy now, psychologically healthy. But then there were some more questions. And it turned, I'm going to use a word, it turned religious. That's not what I really mean. But I'm using that word to kind of point you in the direction, in the general direction. Because religions are not something that I like to deal with. And I don't like to deal with them because they're too full of things that are divisive. They are not filled with things that bring us together. We're the same people, the same consciousness. Things that divide us just aren't where we should be going. All right. For our own benefit. So what this does, What I try to do here is point people to the direction so that they understand for themselves. There's certain things if you do, you're going to clear your mind or your consciousness, and things will come to you. You will see for yourself. And that's the whole object. I might answer a question for you and tell you what something means, but I will never tell you what to do. I say, I will not tell you how to live your life, but what I do is tell you how to understand what you do. And the choice after that is up to the individual. We cannot take choice away from people. That is freedom. That's what it means. You'll find when you go a lot of places, people want to tell you what it means or tell you what to do. Well, no. One must step in bear traps in order to understand. I told the story of once I was frying bacon when I was a teenager. And I took the fork and I took it out and the bacon grease looked so good. I stuck it in my mouth. Well, I've never done that again. You see, the lesson was learned. And the lessons are learned through those kinds of things. Because a change has to happen. Now, what we talk about in a broad way is that habitual behavior is a result of energy and a moment. What happens in a moment? If you do something and it's painful in that moment, you will remember that thing that you were doing forever. Okay? You will have negative thoughts about that thing. If you're doing something and it feels good, it provides you with pleasure, joy, you will remember that because of the energy that it took to instill that gestalt. So anytime you see something like that, you're more willing to do it again and again and again and again. This concept or this idea is responsible for most of human behavior. It is responsible for addiction, drug addiction, cigarette addiction, habitual addiction. It is what we are. It is a part of our biomechanical mechanism. What this also does is color our world. That is, when I see you do something, I assume it is what I've done. I assume, whether it's positive or negative. I assume that you are like me, or I assume that you're not like me. I assume that that is a negative. Well, you see, we can't do that because what I do or what anyone does depends upon the motivation behind it. So I can't make that assumption. What I have to do in order to aid my world in growth and aid myself in my growth is to pay very close attention or ask questions instead of just responding. Now, your elbow only bends one way. Okay, it's like that. What am I doing when it bends this way? Am I combing my hair? Am I brushing my teeth? What am I doing? Am I gouging my eye? You see one action, but you have to follow that action until it clearly defines what is behind it. It's very difficult to do that. Once some of the techniques we have given positions you so that you see your own mechanism, you break that mechanism. You can form another one of being objective, not knowing. Okay. I went off, and the reason I went off, a person in the group told a story. This story was about the use of technique and what happened as a result. The joy and the freedom that they began to feel as a result. Another person told a story that was the exact example of what I said don't do. Okay. I said to this person, great. That's the way to go. I said to this person, and I'm not always the most tactful person, but I think I'm very funny. Not everybody thinks I'm funny. And I said, be careful, that doesn't come back and bite you in the ass. And laughed. Now, because I have already said, this is not what you do. Well, why is that? Well, because you didn't work with the core of your behavioral problem. What you did was one step removed from that core. So don't make the assumption that it's gone. Never make the assumption it's gone. Always be aware. It became about that person versus this person, which is something I would never do. I never pit people against people. I think that's stupid. So in that moment, I had to be understood. I used to be a military person. I can think of cuss words that you wouldn't believe to make the point. No. 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 Now, some would say you weren't very kind. I had no intention of being kind. Life is just life. Life whispers. Then it speaks. A little louder, and then wham! It was whispering. It was telling you all along, watch out, watch out, watch out. We didn't listen. I expect that if we want to know something, if we want to learn something, we are capable of accepting what we receive. We're adult human beings. Okay? We are adults. So, when something is direct and blunt, which life is, we see that and we go, okay. Now, if we don't see that and we go, why are you picking on me? It's your responsibility to see why are you picking on me and go, why am I doing that? Why am I creating this thing in my life? Why am I creating this childishness, this 3-year-old mentality? You like him better than me. You didn't give me a compliment. You gave her a compliment. Well, no. Coming from this perspective, there are no compliments. That would be like me saying, Stuart, you're breathing very well today. Congratulations. For breathing? For doing what we need to do? Why would we need a compliment? What we need to do is to understand that it is our insecurity that's coming up and bringing us down. The point here is to come beyond that insecurity and ourself, our true self. All that is your true self. You can call that whatever you want. You can call it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it whatever you want. You can call him Joe, doesn't matter. It's what it is that matters. We come to that, and we are perfectly capable then of living in peace, living with love. Because when your insecurities are up, you're not capable of living with love. Because now it's about me, 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 when the whole situation may not be about you, as that situation was. It was not about this person or that person. It was about concept. It was about concept. It was about, this has already been spelled out. This is how you do this. It's like mathematics. When you have the concept of these many and these many make these many, that's the concept. It's never about who, it's about what. And we make that mistake a lot. Well, because it's my friend, it's okay. When somebody else over here does, oh, it's not okay. No. Understand something. I'm not saying right or wrong. You won't hear me say that. I'm saying it's conducive to your peace and well-being, or it isn't. Okay? So if you've done or treated a person a certain way or done a certain thing, and it always comes back to smack you, when you hear that first whisper, it's telling you to do this, become very aware. That's how you know. And it's experience. It's like fighting. Those of you who were with me in martial arts, one of the things I would always say, just do this, just do it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. It is the experience of doing it. One day the punch comes. You just do that.
So then getting down on yourself for ending up in the same situation would be ruining your, wisdom of the experience.
Yeah, never get down on yourself. Well, getting down on yourself would also be one of those things you have to go, aha. Because getting down on yourself is not going to elevate you. You see it, you recognize, oh boy, okay, that doesn't mean you won't have some feeling about it. But you don't beat yourself up. You go, okay, now I have to make a different decision. That's all. Beating yourself up is a part of the negative gestalt. That's a part of the guilt trip that was laid on you by your parents. Be guilty now. Oh, yes. Oh, Ma. You don't want to do that. Understanding brings about those changes without guilt and without beating you up. That's what's important. See, these techniques are so important to do because what they do is ultimately put you in this place where everything is very clear. It's very clear. So you see it, you decide. It may be something you've done 1,000 times and it's always come out the same way. You say, well, I want to do it again. Well, it's okay. You get the same results. That's okay. It's okay if you can accept that. If you can live with that. So it's about peace. Not about right and wrong, because I really don't know what that is. I really don't know what that means. When I say I don't know what that means, when you look at the universe, humankind is lazy. We will not move off of a point unless we have a fire built under us. And then we go, oh, I mean, we look at what has just happened in Egypt. Well, just give me a few days to rewrite the Constitution. How long have you been in office? 30 years? And now you need until September to do what you should have done 30 years ago? The fire got built on them. We said, okay, all the hundreds of thousands of people in the street. Oh, now we have to have change. Well, this is the way it happens. This is the way it happens with societies. If you look back at the Roman Empire and the Goths, well, Rome was not very nice to these people. So, revolution broke out. Boy, did they kick the Romans' butts. They killed 10,000 Roman soldiers in one day. 10,000, man. Rome, whoa, hold it. I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you this land over here, and you can be a Roman citizen. You can have this and that. You can come into Rome. Well, didn't exactly work out like that. And finally they said, enough. And they sacked Rome. Now it's like, but what do you want to do that for? You can now have equal citizenship. They said, no, now it's your turn in the barrel. You remember that joke, in the barrel? Nobody? A long time ago, a guy goes to Alaska. There's nothing but guys. And after being there for a while, he gets a little horny. And so he says to the other guys at the bar, he says, what do you do when this happens? He says, you see that barrel over there? He says, yeah. He says, Bob, get in the barrel. He says, but there's a hole in the barrel. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. After about a year, yeah, let me try that barrel. Not bad. He goes every day. And finally, one day, he goes to the hole in the barrel and nothing happens. Says, hey, what happened? He said, oh, it's your turn in the barrel. Okay. So sometimes it's your turn in the barrel, okay? It was Rome's turn in the barrel. And that was bad. We change when forces make us change. So, the amount of good rises because the amount of evil rises. I don't know. What does that say? It says that they're both part of the same thing, the same mechanism. All of humanity rises. Okay? So even our judgment of what is good and bad, we can like something or dislike it. I want to do it or I don't want to do it, so I don't know. When you see what it brings, when you see what it brings into your life, I mean, what do you want? So we make those choices, okay? We make those choices. Peacefully, peacefully inside. It means you're not disturbed even. Now here's the tricky part of seeing these things. You're not disturbed even by your disturbance. That's kind of hard to see. But I want to draw you a little picture here. I am this room, or we are, okay, this room. The biomechanical mind, that is the mind that's geared towards establishing and living in a physical reality, is this chair. Okay. I see through this chair. So everything looks cherished. All of my emotions happen through this. Now, what happens generally is those feelings come up and I respond. But through the use of this technique, one day, this is no longer here. It's like this. Now I can see something else. I can see the greater part of myself. So even though this disturbance might happen, I'm still at peace. I'm unaffected by it. I have choice to act through it or to respond from what I am, the greater portion of what I am. That's peaceful, that's loving, and that's kind. I will make the right decisions from there. I will make the right decision. Whatever is right for that situation in front of me. Now, I'm not saying right. I'm saying what is right here in this moment. What needs to happen for a desired outcome. I'm not controlled by my emotions. I understand them and I use them. Does this make sense? Okay. That is a result of the...
When you say you use it.
Hmm?
When you say you use them, what do you mean?
Well, once you begin to see, I've said before, emotions are feelings with a thought placed on them. Okay? What I usually do to those things, with those things, is react. But once you begin to see it with space around it, and you'll see the separation between feeling and what you think. That energy now becomes available for you to use in any way you choose.
In creating your own life and interactions and everything.
Yes. And how you feel. That's what I mean, to use it. You can now use it. It's before then, you are being used by it. Before that. Energy comes up, what do you do? All the same stuff. Well, see, that's what happened in that group situation. This person has issues with pleasing parents, pleasing everybody. So the reaction is to do something to please someone else. And when they saw that I was not pleased, they had a reaction and attacked me. I acted with one of my very favorite things. Never get in a pissing contest with a skunk. Never ever. I'm a skunk. I don't know what to tell you. So, I delivered what needed to be delivered. To break the spell of the emotion, the thought, and the feeling, to literally destroy that and make them go, now you're in a position to see. I accepted that responsibility in that moment. The right thing in that moment. I accepted that responsibility in that moment, which I had not before, because the responsibility is not mine. The responsibility is the individual's. Because they are here to understand themselves and must be prepared and must be ready that when their stuff comes up, apply the technique, see, understand what you see. And I realize that that takes time.
But what if you were like an average, let's say an average Joe?
Me?
Yeah. but
Okay.
I mean, not in a position of a person is looking to you for instruction.
Mm-hmm.
They're dealing with you in the way that normal people deal with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that the behavior of trying to please people, okay? And so you know maybe that the things that this person is doing with you or for you, that it's happening in them.
Yeah.
Now, if it's not your job, if the situation at work or wherever the situation is, any kind of situation, doesn't call for that, but at the same time you see yourself benefiting from that, you know, at what point is a line crossed? Or,
Take the benefit. You take the benefit because, you know, when you're not put in a position to do that, it will be resented.
to not take the benefit would be resented?
No, to try to yeah, because they're gonna look at you like, well, who the hell are you? You know, we're equals. We're this, blah, 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 whatever all that is. Takes the benefit.
Now, is that being shrewd, manipulative? Or is that minding your own business and letting the world go along?
If you are interacting in something to achieve something, then that's what you're there for. You're not manipulating them. They are doing that themselves. Okay? It's okay. That's the way the world operates. It's okay. Now, if we're in a different kind of relationship, a relationship of closeness or something, I might say, you know, you may want to check this out. If they don't, you stay out. You don't see me doing these things with people that I have not entrusted their understanding to my care, so to speak. You don't see me doing that. I don't say anything. If you put me in a position where I have to say something, oh yeah, I will. I will. But normally, that's not what you do. Everyone has the right to be whatever they want to be. You have the right to be as brilliant or as stupid as you choose. That's the individual right. What I will say, maybe not openly to them, oh, well, I guess I'll be seeing you. Take care. I see you on the street. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Gotta go. I'm out. Because those are not the kinds of things. I have made a choice that those are not the kinds of things that I want in my life because I know the consequences. Okay. I know the consequences.
Those things being people who operate solely from
Those,
that kind of stuff.
right. That's not what I want. I want to be able to talk to another human being who thinks. Now, there's a difference between thinking and having thoughts. The habitual process is having thoughts. Well, what? What are you talking about? Because they're operating from whatever's going on in here and not operating from what's going on here. You know? We decide. Some people decide, okay, that's okay. I want that in my life. I had a friend once who liked crazy women. But then he was always calling me. This happened. Well, what do you want me to do about it? You said craziness in a woman makes her interesting. There's your interest. Knock yourself out. My choice is I don't like that. I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to your automatic response mechanisms. I want to talk to that person who has all these characteristics, who says something unique and thoughtful. But that's just choice. Every human being has their choice. Okay? It takes getting clear for us to truly make the choice, because if we are on habitual, you ever notice that many people end up with the same kind of person all the time? You ever notice that? Same kind of person. Why is that? Because you are them. Your mechanism hooks into their mechanism. Oh, yeah. A statement from Rocky in Rocky 2. What was everybody got holes. Adrian got holes. I got holes. My space is filled. Her hole's filled. Nah. Try to make a whole person by two halves coming together. Doesn't work. Two whole people coming together work. It works. It works for the betterment of the whole. Now, it can work if you want to maintain being here, staying here. But if you want to grow and change, that's why people come together and ultimately they say, well, we just grew apart. Somebody grew. Somebody grew. And someone didn't. Then you have to make another decision. Or one makes a decision. See, I'm not trying to say that what decisions we should make or should not make. I'm just saying, when you're clear, you decide. And it's your choice. You have the right to choose. Because you're a human being. Nothing is meant in this to be forever. I say nothing is meant to be. Forever is if you make it that way. Growth, change happens. You have the power to make your own reality, to live your life as you choose. Now, when we both understand that, then forever is possible. But if we don't both understand that, forever is not possible. It just isn't. Or sometimes when we stay there, hell is possible. Because that's where we're living. In hell. Because every day somebody's angry, somebody's mad, somebody's uptight, somebody... You know, you ever had food that was cooked by an angry person? I was in Pune, India. This woman cooked, must have been a 15-course meal in a wok. I mean, this little thing, I'd never seen anybody cook that many different things at once. I mean, it had sunshine in it. It was like, oh man. It had sunshine in it. It would just glow and make you feel good. She was so proud to have the American Baba in her house. Well, Baba, you like more? Yeah, just make me fat. I don't care. I mean, her love for what she was doing made the difference. So when you're living with a person who has that opposite thing, I mean, this stuff shows up everywhere. Remember, you live in a world of vibration, and vibration affects everything. You live in a world of vibration. Now, I'm not talking about the airy-fairy vibration. I'm talking about real vibration. Atoms and molecules vibrate. They pick up other vibrations. They carry vibrations. Light vibrates. It bounces here into the eye. The brain makes sense of the information carried in the vibration. It smells. Pieces of whatever it is you smell are vibrating. Vibrates the molecules in the air, touches the nostrils. You smell it. It takes the information that has been transferred in the vibration and you smell it. So everything is that way. Emotions. You secrete hormones when you are emotional. They affect the vibration. So when you cook food and you're pissed, there you go. Eat that. You're poisoning people. Here, take some of that. Go ahead. No. One of the things that moving back from what you assume you know allows you to do is see that and go, wait a minute. I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I want to eat that. I don't think I want to be in this house because it makes me feel not so good. Puts us in position for choice. We don't have to concern ourselves with how to act, how to behave. What we have to do is come to that place inside that is godly, the pure feeling of what we are, and you will act in accordance with that. You will act in accordance with that. It's very simple. We don't have to behave like anything. We have to let what is inside dictate our action. So to try and behave a certain way, you just come across phony. You ever seen these spiritual people who are so spiritual? They just kind of not even there. They're trying to be something they don't know how to be. It's about balance. Balance this with this. Balance the thing with the non-thing. And the balance is not 50-50. You hear me say, the universe is 98% feminine, 2% masculine. Okay, that doesn't mean it has a penis and a vagina. It means that the representation of femininity and the representation of masculinity are represented by no thing and something. The penis is aggressive. It is classified as something. The vagina is space, so classified as no thing. Feminine, masculine. We see this concept everywhere. So the larger, the spiritual is larger and is feminine, softer than this. This is hard. The physical things are hard. They are aggressive. They are what you see when you look around. Form. So that balance is probably more like 98-2. Takes a lot of nothing to balance something. We see that. And in that is the essence of being. Remember my story. Before the beginning, Mother God slept. In a moment, a dream, a flicker. The dream, the flicker form. Remember now, you can't see something that's not form. Form. Father God is born and instantly is loved. That's really what the Trinity is. Okay? But instantly is loved. So one step, 2 steps removed from God is love that comes out into something. In the experience of yourself as this, love. So your responses are going to be gentler. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that this won't follow. It comes to a point where the balance must be struck. We talk about Yahushua or Jesus. Oh, the Son of God, the Prince of Peace. What did he have in his hand when he went into the temple? When they were and commenced wailing on people with that stick? Okay. Okay, so we forget that. We just want to deal with the love part. Well, that also is an expression of love when it is not an expression of anger, hatred. Coming to see for ourselves. Coming to see the truth for ourselves. Quite often, religions don't help us to come and see for ourselves. One of the things I've always said to you, do not take my word for it. Do this and find out for yourself. Because that's what it's about. It's about you. It's about me. It's about us seeing what is true. Being what is true. We don't seem to think in many religions that we have to do anything. All we have to do is tell Jesus, save us, and everything is all right. Well, then why do we have to tell Jesus to save us the next day? And the day after that, and the week after, we have to keep coming back, oh, save me, Lord. Well, after a while, Jesus said, well, damn, what are you doing? Save me. Save yourself from what? Yourself. Save yourself, from the habitual mechanisms that allow you to mistreat others, to mistreat situations, because you don't see what the situation is. What you see is your habitual mechanisms. That is what we need to be saved from. We don't believe that we can achieve those things that are godly. Notice the word godly. We're too lazy because we don't know how. We don't know how to break the mechanism. We don't know how to do it. Well, all I'm doing here is saying, do this, learn how to do this with this technique. You break the mechanism, you see. You see. The question has been asked of me. You are the happiest person I know. And every moment you seem to be walking on the edge of death and destruction. Say, yeah. How can you be that happy? Easy. I see. I see. Okay. Everything dies. That's true. But you got to hear the words. Now hear what I'm saying. Everything dies. I am not a thing. This is a thing. Spirit is not a thing. It is, it always has been, will always be. So kind of, to me, it's kind of like taking a trip to the Bahamas. Okay? You're going to just be someplace else, not here. Where? Not here. But what is it they said in the last episode of Lost? Time to move on. Well, where? Just on. Just on. It's okay. This is what it is. It's just what it is. Doesn't mean that it has no importance. It does. But when your number's up, your number is up. It's nothing else you can do about it. You're going to laugh, or you're going to scream and yell and cry and claw. It's not going to make any difference. You can scream and claw and whatever all you want. It's not going to matter. It's your time. So why not feel good? Knowledge allows you to feel good. Knowing allows you to feel good. Yeah. There was a character in the TV show Cheers. His name was Coach. Well, Coach was an old athlete, but Coach had too many blows to the head, and Coach would forget stuff. He said, "But Coach, doesn't that bother you?" He said, "No, make us a nice break in the day." To take off on the old saying, life hands you lemons, make lemonade. We think that worry and being all upset is going to make a difference. It's not. You take your time, you do what you need to do from this point of view, not from the habitual point of view. Now we're talking about peace. We're talking about understanding. We're talking about gaining knowledge. All the things that we need to do. Whereas in many religions, oh, just give it to God. Just give it to Jesus. What is that? Never met the man. How am I going? When I look in here, as far as the spiritual eye can see, all I see is me. That's what I see. And that brings about the understanding that there is only one in this entirety of being. Our mechanism makes us think of many. It's a saying, as you have done unto the least of mine, so have you done unto me, because I'm it. We're it. We know that when we come here. When we dismiss or disentangle these belief systems, the belief systems that tells me I'm different from you, or you're different from me. We're not different. It doesn't matter. We're the same. We're the same because we became what we are by reason of the same process. To see yourself as one makes all the difference in the world. There are many things that many people and different people in this room and in this group want to know and want to learn about, want to know more about the use of the power of creation, Those are things that come about as a result of consciousness, as a result of seeing greater. It comes about. You see. Say, well, tell me how to do this. Well, I can tell you what the steps are, but you have to understand it through your experience of understanding. Once you understand through your experience of understanding, now it's yours. That old saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach him to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Well, this is what that concept means. A person understands, they are able to utilize what they understand in their own life. It is not to look to anyone, I don't care what you call them, for your salvation, your saving, your being saved, because all you're being saved from is the habitual process. Now, as you go through your process, it may at first seem to be a psychological process, but once you get past certain things, you see, wow, oh, this is what that meant. Or you see, I forgot what it was I saw. It was another word, like the guy who killed the other guy. Cain and Abel, yeah. Breath of life, love of God, or love of form, breath of life. There was another word in Hebrew that means, Adam. In Hebrew means mankind. It's not a guy. So we once we begin to see, you read the stories differently. And you go, oh, this is what that meant. It didn't mean there was one guy. Oh, boy, one guy. Oh, there you go. All right. Adam. Mankind.
What is Eve?
Womankind. The limitation of what we've been taught and the limitation of understanding what we've been taught. That's why this is different. That's why what we're doing here is hard. It's difficult because it's about an experience beyond the experience that you know. This is what makes it difficult, what makes it hard to go, because we're accustomed to somebody going, well, this is what it means. I'm saying this means this. Check it out. I'm not saying believe it. I'm saying do this and understand for yourself. Religions have leaders. I'm not a leader. I can't lead you anywhere. And you don't want to go where I want to go anyway. You want to go where you want to go. Okay, that's good. That's the way it should be. To lead, I am not that. Religions and movements and all that have leaders. One thing I know for sure, strong people don't need leaders. Strong people don't. Weak people need leaders. Tell me where to go. Moo. Moo. Yeah. I'm going to tell you where to go, all right. No know for yourself. Know for yourself. I'm just helping with the process. The adventure goes on. Someone said to me, you know, you don't act like an old man. Because I'm not. The body is kind of used up. But what I am is not old because I'm not afraid. I am what I am. I'm here. I'm alive. I laugh. I have fun. I can still do everything I have ever done, just not as fast. just it's a little bit slower. Every time I fall down, I get up. I just fall a lot more than I used to. uh, I was Friday. Well, they called and canceled my flight Thursday and said that I had a flight Friday and said it would be an earlier flight. Okay. So it's whatever it was, 3,000 below zero. I'm out trying to get a cab, and just as I'm about to get a cab, as a lady comes out on a cane and she's walking. The cab comes, cab stops in the middle of the street, and what does she do? Stop right in front of me. And in order not to run over the old lady, she's probably my age, with the cab, I stepped on the ice, went down on all fours, got up, big wet stains and stuff. I'm on my way to the airport, and the cab driver goes, "Are you okay?" Of course I'm okay. Why wouldn't I be okay? He saw an old man fall. I fell. I just fell. Got up. Knees a little sore. It's all right. Made it to New York, did what I had to do, came back. How do you see it? How do you see who you are? I'm not buying being an old man. I joke about it, but I'm not buying. It's not old. It has no age. What I am has no age. The automatic mechanisms have been disbanded. When I was a young man, I worried about being an old man. I thought, oh man, by the time I get 40, I want to die. I don't want to get to be old, 40. Now I say, hey, you know, another 75 years, that'll be cool. I can deal with that. It's okay to be, to enjoy, whatever it is you enjoy. I don't know. Let it be all right. Break the mechanisms. That's all. Just break the mechanisms. Look at your other choice. Miserable, happy. The choice is yours. Okay. Just be sure that you're paying attention. Your technique. Look, listen, smell, touch. Well, the one person in the group that was having the great experience, that was the technique she was doing. And the way she was being transformed. Because when you're in these senses, you're not thinking so much. you are experiencing. All those senses come together in one point, like 5 fingers on a hand come together as a hand. 5 fingers come together as a hand. It changes everything. Every time you find yourself going back to worry, doubt, fear, whatever all those things are, go to your senses. Feel. Relax your body. Feel. Let it be okay. Let it be all right. If you can do something about that thing that's bothering you, do it. If you can't do anything about it, can't do anything about it. That's the way it is. Now, another little thing that you probably will find out later as you move back further is that it wasn't worth all that anyway. Well, it just wasn't worth all that. Many things that were so important to me way back then are meaningless because I give them no meaning. There's no reason. There is no reason. Spend some time learning to understand this. I mean, sure, all this other stuff has its place, but most of it is just BS. You know, think about how much time you waste sitting around thinking about BS. You know, about nothing. Wishing for this is a learn how to use that energy, and you probably won't have to wish. You learn to focus and direct. Okay, so I just want you to be aware of some things once again. This is what we do. This is why we do it. To understand. You will understand the teachings of all the great masters of our time. Not religion, but the ones upon which religions are based. Soon as the words left the mouth of the Christ, they became lies, or Muhammad or Buddha, because someone interpreted it through their mechanisms. If you ask some of the guys, I forget what they were, 12 guys, Jesus's gang. Disciples, yeah, those guys. Each one of them saw him through their eyes. One says he's a fisherman. One says he's a carpenter. One says he's a politician. That's because that's who they were. He was just a guy. He was just a guy. We forget half of the story. It says, are you son of God? I am. Are you son of man? I am. We forget that part. He's a guy. He's saying, this is what we all are. Spirit and form. Spirit and form. This is what we are. But those of us who don't want to live up to, say, oh, well, he was just son of God. Because I can't live up to that, so I can still run around and do what I do. Talk shit, do that, and say all I have to do is pray. No, you got to do better than that. You got to do better than that, all right? We have to understand that this person was a human being as we all are. If he was not a human being, then what he said to you is impossible for you to achieve. Now I'm just talking from the quote Christian Jewish point of view. Say from that point of view. All right. So now we can, if we have to live up to it, we can stop preaching loud, talking loud, and doing all that stuff. We have to stop. Okay. And we have to say, now wait a minute, this man that we worship was a Jew. We have to stop our crap about the Jews. If we want to deal with the truth, we don't want to deal with the truth though. See, no. I'm a Christian, a follower of Christ. Okay. Shalom. See, it shows how the mechanism works. Let me just cut this whole part out over here because I don't want to hear that. Or it works. I'm not just picking on the Christians. I pick on everybody else another day. Right? But I'm an equal opportunity blasphemer. Okay. Truth. Truth is what is important. If we are to be who we say we really want to be. It's not important if we don't want to be. And those of us who want truth to be important, one of the things, the mechanisms that we have to stop is wanting those who don't want to be, who don't want to deal with the truth, wanting them to deal with it. This is a temporary place. It's a place to learn and grow. This is what this is. Everybody's not at the same place. You go to school, everybody's not in the same grade. We have to grow. And we have to understand that. And we have to love and care about each other. Now, how do we do that? We come to love that is beyond this. And you will automatically do that. Automatically. It's simple. It's not easy. Just know this is only good for a few things. Just a few things. It's not there to control who you are. Come to the real thing inside. And it's okay. It's all right. Thank you for your time. You have a good day. Peace.